Warriors, swordsmen, and mercenaries have all tried. Yet one by one, they turn to stone. None could face the cursed gaze of Medusa. But Medusa wasn't always a monster. She was known across Greece for her beauty, a mortal woman whose golden hair and radiant eyes could humble even the gods. Until betrayal and divine wrath turned her blessing into a curse. We're all familiar with this picture. And today I will take you through story of the woman behind this monster. In ancient Greece, there was a young woman named Medusa. She was stunning, with long, flowing hair that shimmered like gold in the sunlight. People whispered about her beauty, and she worked as a priestess in the temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Medusa loved her job, tending to the sacred flames and praying to Athena. She took a vow to stay pure and serve the goddess forever. But beauty can attract trouble. Medusa's looks caught the eye of many, including powerful gods. She didn't ask for this attention, but it followed her like a shadow. Life was simple back then, but it wouldn't stay that way. One day, Poseidon, the god of the sea, saw Medusa in Athena's temple. His heart raced. He wanted her, and gods don't often hear no. Medusa, loyal to her vow, tried to avoid him, but Poseidon wasn't used to being ignored. One night, in the quiet of the temple, he approached her. Some say Medusa welcomed him, others say she didn't have a choice. Either way, their meeting broke the sacred rules of Athena's temple. Athena, furious, learned what happened. But instead of blaming Poseidon, her fellow god, she turned her anger on Medusa. Gods could be unfair like that. Medusa's life was about to change forever. Athena stood before Medusa, her eyes blazing with rage. "You've defiled my temple," she said. Medusa tried to explain, but Athena didn't listen. With a wave of her hand, the goddess cursed Medusa. Her golden hair twisted and hissed, turning into a nest of writhing snakes. Her smooth skin became scaly, and her eyes glowed with a terrible power. Anyone who looked into them would turn to stone. Medusa screamed, horrified at what she'd become. She wasn't just a monster, she was alone. No one could look at her without dying. Heartbroken, she fled to a distant island, hiding from the world. On her island, Medusa lived in a dark cave, far from people. She wasn't evil, just cursed. She missed her old life, her friends, her family. But anyone who came near her, hunters, sailors, or curious travelers, met a grim fate. One glance into her eyes, and they became statues, frozen forever. Word spread about the monster Medusa, and her name became a warning. Sometimes, Medusa would cry, her tears mixing with the hissing of her snakes. She didn't want to hurt anyone, but the curse left her no choice. Heroes started seeking her out, not to help, but to hunt her. They wanted glory, and killing Medusa would make them famous. Tales of Medusa's terror spread across Greece, reaching the ears of King Polydectes of Seriphos. He ruled over a small island and had his own schemes. Polydectes wanted to marry Danae, the mother of Perseus, son of Zeus, but Perseus stood in his way. To get rid of him, Polydectes devised a cunning plan. He challenged Perseus to prove his heroism by bringing back the head of Medusa, the monster whose gaze turned men to stone. It seemed like a death sentence, but Perseus, brave and determined, accepted the quest. The gods took notice of Perseus, son of Zeus, and offered their aid. Athena, still bitter about Medusa, gave him a polished bronze shield to use as a mirror, so he could avoid her deadly eyes. Hermes, the swift messenger god, gifted him winged sandals for flight and a razor-sharp sword that could cut through anything. With these divine tools, Perseus set off, his heart heavy but resolute. He knew he wasn't just facing a monster, but a woman cursed by a goddess, and that made the task even harder. Perseus, son of Zeus and Danae, landed on Medusa's rocky island as thunder roared in the sky. His winged sandals carried him over sharp cliffs to a dark cave, now a battlefield covered with stone statues of unlucky warriors. His heart beat fast, but his godly blood made him brave. Holding his shiny shield and sharp sword, he stepped into the cave, ready to fight the cursed Medusa. Medusa was wide awake, her glowing eyes like fire in the dark. Her snake hair hissed and snapped, each snake like an angry whip. "Get out, hero," she growled, her voice full of anger and sadness. Perseus used his shield like a mirror to avoid her deadly eyes, moving fast. Medusa charged, her sharp claws swinging and her snake hair biting at him. Perseus jumped aside, his winged sandals lifting him just in time. The cave shook as her tail smashed a statue to bits. Perseus dodged and swung his sword, blocking her attacks. Broken statues fell around them, and dust filled the air. He felt sorry for Medusa. She wasn't just a monster, but a woman hurt by the gods. Still, he had to win. With a quick leap, Perseus flew up, dodging her snapping snakes. Using the shield's reflection, he swung his sword hard and cut off Medusa's head. Her body fell, and from her neck jumped Pegasus, a winged horse, and Chryse, a golden warrior, shining bright. Perseus, out of breath, grabbed the head, still dangerous, and ran from the cave victorious. Perseus tucked Medusa's head into a bag and flew off on his sandals. Her head became a weapon. He used it to turn enemies to stone, saving himself and others. Eventually, he gave it to Athena, who placed it on her shield, a symbol of her power. Medusa's story didn't end with her death. People told tales of her, some calling her a monster, others a victim. Her name lived on, a reminder of beauty, betrayal, and the gods' harsh justice. Even today, we picture her snake hair and stone-cold stare, wondering about the woman behind the myth. Since you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. It helps the channel to grow. If you have any question, put it down on the comment section.